When are you coming home? My health is getting worse every day. The doctors still can't figure out what's wrong with me.
Anima's trembling voice echoed through the phone. The words hit Saurav like a spark on dry wood. His voice came back sharp and irritated. I'm tired of your drama every day, Anima. I work myself to death all day, and when I call you, instead of peace, I get this emotional nonsense. I'm sorry. I won't say it again. You better not. If you're this much of a headache before marriage, I can only imagine the nightmare after. Before Anima could respond, the line went dead. The disconnect tone rang in her ears like a slap. The phone slipped from her hand. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she buried her face into the pillow, crying soundlessly. Moments later, her mother, Mina Begum, entered the room alarmed by her daughter's sobs. What happened, sweetheart? Why are you crying? Anima lifted her head. Her swollen red eyes scared her mother. Mina hesitated, then asked again. Did Saurav say something again? This time, all the pain and anger that had been building inside Anima exploded like a volcano. Grinding her teeth, she shouted, I'm not marrying that bastard. He's not a good man, and his family's even worse. You just heard he lives in Italy and thought, oh great, a foreign groom. You're all greedy for money. Her face turned crimson with rage. She went on, trembling with fury. That man is in his 40s. What could he possibly understand about my feelings? To him, I'm just some pretty doll, something to show off, to satisfy his needs, to bear him kids every year, and that's it. Calm down, dear. You'll make yourself sick again. Sick? You're all making me sick, Anima screamed. Either you and Dad call off this marriage or I'll end my life, and I mean it. Mina stood frozen, terrified by her daughter's intensity. After a long pause, she whispered, Okay, let your father come home. I'll talk to him. When she left, Anima slammed the door shut behind her. That night, when Mr. Sohel returned home, exhausted from work, Mina quietly said, Your daughter refuses to marry Saurav. He looked up, weary-eyed. She's been saying that from the start. It's you and your sister who've been pushing this. I can't understand. What's in it for you two? Why are you willing to sacrifice my daughter's happiness? First, my son gets divorced because of family pressure, and now this? Haven't you done enough damage already? Mina lowered her head in shame. Actually, my sister borrowed a lot of money from Saurav. She can't pay it back. They threatened to sue. Then one day they saw Anima and said if she marries Saurav, they'd forget the debt and drop the case. Sohel's calm face darkened instantly. My daughter is not for sale, he thundered. If you or your sister ever try to trade her future for your greed again, I swear I'll send you back to your sister's house for good. Before Mina could respond, a piercing scream came from Anima's room. Both parents rushed toward it. They found her curled up in a corner, clutching her head, trembling in terror. Daddy, she sobbed, running into his arms. He held her tightly, stroking her hair. What happened, my baby? The shadows. They came back. They're trying to grab me. He looked around. The room was empty. There's nothing here, sweetheart. I'm right here. You're safe. Listen, there will be no wedding with Saurav. I've ended it. It's over. Something in those words calmed her. Slowly, she looked up. The room was empty except for her parents. The shadows were gone. For the first time in weeks, her breathing eased. A month ago, Anima was full of life. Now she was a pale ghost of herself. Her once bright eyes were hollow, her body frail. Every night she saw them, dark, faceless shadows creeping along the walls, whispering from the corners. When the lights were on, she swore she saw black shapes dancing across the walls. When the lights were off, invisible hands seemed to choke her breath away. Dozens of doctors ran tests, but every report came back normal. No one could explain what was happening. Only her parents believed her, and even they were running out of hope. Finally, Mina heard of a man named Dr. Imdaddle, a physician known for curing strange illnesses, from his own home. With no options left, Mina took her daughter there. The house was old, its paint peeling, its iron gate rusted. "I don't think this guy can help. Even the best doctors failed." "Sometimes," Mina said softly, "the smallest light comes from the strangest place." They climbed a creaky staircase to the second floor. A calm-faced woman stood by the door. "You must be Mina Chowdhury," she said before Mina could introduce herself. Mina blinked, startled. "Yes?" "Please come in. The doctor's expecting you." Both women exchanged nervous glances. They hadn't made an appointment. How did she know their names? Inside, the air was unnaturally cold. Dr. Imdaddle, a man in his 50s with thick glasses, sat behind a wooden desk, writing. Without looking up, he gestured for them to sit. After a long silence, he set his pen down and looked straight at Anima. His eyes were sharp, almost too sharp, like they could see through her skin, straight into her soul. "When did you start seeing the black shadows?" he asked calmly. The question struck like lightning. Anima froze. Mina's mouth fell open. She hadn't told him anything yet. "Don't be afraid," he said gently. "Answer me." "About a month ago?" Anima whispered. A strange smile curved his lips. He turned to Mina. "Your daughter is being drained by a spirit. If this continues, it will take full control, and soon it will use her body to kill." Mina gasped, her face turning white. What can we do, doctor?" Before he could answer, the doctor suddenly groaned in pain. Clutching his chest, his face twisted in agony. The woman from outside rushed in, calling for his son. Panic filled the room. Mina and Anima stood helplessly. As they turned to leave, Anima glanced back. Despite the pain, Dr. Imdaddle was staring right at her, waving weakly, his lips forming silent words. But she couldn't hear them. All she carried away was the echo of his unfinished message and the feeling that the true horror was only beginning.